Hey everyone, welcome to the Royce Reports. I am your host Royce, and on today's video, we're going to be discussing ABK and what it means for Xbox's future and what's the next steps in terms of how they're going to manage ABK, what's the plan for ABK, and who are they going to acquire next. So, let's talk about it. All right, so I've been missing for a little bit, and the reason why, I want to be honest with you, is because Sniper Wolf is doxing me. I had to change my identity. I had to move. I had to start a new job. I had to change my underwear, get a new name, everything. And that's the reason why I have been gone for the past 3 or 4 months. But in actuality, I have been kind of busy with life stuff. I've moved. As you can see, we're in a different place, different background, and everything's going on here. So forgive me if the setup is still kind of janky. I still need to kind of go through it and tweak a lot of things. But I wanted to discuss ABK. ABK is finally done. We have been waiting 20 months for this deal to go through, and it is done. Now, I know this deal kind of went through about 2 weeks ago, so I'm a little bit late to the discussion, but nonetheless, I still want to talk about it. It's still a monumental deal, and I'd love to hear some feedback and see what you guys think about it. But ABK is now owned by Xbox. Now, this is huge. This is so big, and right now, if you've seen on Twitter, a bunch of the Xbox leadership is actually going and visiting Activision, Blizzard, and King to kind of gear up and see what they're working on and to see what their passions are. And not only that, but they've also restructured Xbox in the meantime. Sarah Bond is now the head of Xbox. Phil Spencer is the CEO of gaming, and Matt Booty is now in charge of not just Xbox publishing, but also ZeniMax and Bethesda. That's a lot to unwrap here. There's a lot going on. So let's take it step by step. First off, they acquired them. Now that they have them, now what? Well, if you kind of look at what they're doing with Bethesda and you see how they operated Bethesda, just understand that Bethesda and ABK, you can use them as a comparison, but the size of ABK is at least 10 times as much as what Bethesda is. And it took them 3 years just to get Bethesda under wrap. And they still haven't even gotten some things worked out yet with Bethesda. So imagine that, but now you have ABK, which is 10 times as big. So I think the integration between ABK and Xbox is going to take a lot longer than it did with Bethesda. And we're just getting that under wraps now. So expect this turnaround to not be as quick. And we've already seen it with the Gamepass deals and everything, that once they finished, a lot of people thought that they're going to start adding Call of Duty, a bunch of ABK titles to Game Pass, but in fact, they've even stated that they're not going to be doing that until 2024. So that means Modern Warfare 3 and Diablo are not going to be entering Game Pass this year, along with any of the other ABK titles. Because of how big this deal was, they didn't really have time to kind of work that out and deliver on that front. So we're going to be waiting a while just to even see a Game Pass effect on this. So we have that, right? So you understand that this is going to take a while to kind of get through. But now that you have ABK, this is great for Xbox because now they have tapped into the PlayStation market. Now they have PlayStation's best-selling game every single year, which is Call of Duty. Now that's a part of their money. That's their cash flow now. And they could use that to better themselves or use it to create other projects. Now that's the other thing, is that the amount of money that Call of Duty makes is substantial. This thing is printing money every single year. Every single year, it has been the best-selling game. So why do you think Xbox would want to put a stop to that? I know a lot of people are thinking that, okay, Xbox, once they take over, they're going to have these studios go and work on their passion projects and do what they wanted to do. But the thing is, Call of Duty is so huge that you can't just not make that money anymore. You can't just be like, okay, we're going to stop making Call of Duty so that you guys could go do your passion projects. No, Call of Duty at the end of the day still needs to be made. And that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to continue to enforce Call of Duty. So I imagine how it's going to go And it sucks to hear, but the thing is, I actually do think that they aren't really going to change a whole lot with ABK. I could be completely wrong. I want to be wrong. Please let me be wrong. But the thing is, it's just too much money. That is something that you just don't want to mess with. Same with King and Candy Crush. Candy Crush is a huge revenue stream, and you just don't want to mess with that. So you don't. And I think that Xbox is going to allow King to continue to operate how they're operating, and they're going to allow Call of Duty to continue to be made every single year. Now, at the moment, we are for sure getting a Call of Duty every single year until 2027. But then we could kind of be like, okay, where are we going to go next with this? Are we going to see more these studios be freed up to allow them to go do things like Beanox and Toys for Bob and Raven, and maybe Infinity War and Treyarch could go and do their own thing? That's yet to be seen. But the thing is, they also made promises about bringing Call of Duty to more platforms. They made a promise to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo Switch, or the Switch 2 whenever that comes out, and they made a promise to bring Call of Duty to cloud platforms. So if that's the case, that means you need more developers, it means you need more time, you need more money to invest in those things in order to actually accomplish those things that you promised you were going to do. So that only means you're going to have more people working on Call of Duty than you've had before. So this is not the greatest thing out there. It's not something that you should be proud of, because now those teams that you wanted to be free of Call of Duty are now going to be tied into that even more. We'll see. Who knows how this is going to play out, and you just have to wait and see. But I hope that's not the case. I hope that the case is that all those studios that are working in the Call of Duty sweatshop are able to go and do their own thing and make outstanding games, and they release in Gamepass and yada yada yada. But the truth is, they're probably going to be stuck doing the same exact thing. Something that I think a lot of people are going to be turned off about just because it's so early in the conversation, but I still think that people should know that it's going to happen and it's going to continue, is acquisitions. Even during the ABK trial, during everything, during all that 20 months of waiting and trying to get through regulations, Microsoft, Phil Spencer, Satya Nadella, who's the head of Microsoft, have stated that they are not done acquiring, that they're going to continue to acquire. They're going to continue to make fronts in other places they have yet to be able to get their claws into, right? So that means potentially Japan. So they might still go out and grab some other studios. So the thing is, no one knows what studios you're going to acquire, right? You just never know, because there was a list of studios that Microsoft was potentially interested in during the trials that came out, and it was pretty much the whole industry. So you don't really know which company is going to be under Microsoft next. You can have an idea, but it doesn't really matter, because they are just going to do whatever they want, when they want, and how they want. And then this ABK deal is going to show them that they can do this, because ABK is the biggest target you could have got outside of Nintendo and Sony. Now you're free to do anything lesser than ABK, which is pretty much the whole industry. Now, does that mean that they're going to go and buy EA or Ubisoft or Take-Two? Probably not. I highly doubt that. I don't think that would ever get through regulations, and I don't think they want to go through that process again. But I think they're going to attack smaller studios. I think they're going to go after studios and not publishers, right? If they're going to go after a publisher, it's going to be someone in Japan. That's what I think. I think that the potential is there for Square Enix. Square Enix right now is really down on their luck, but they went and made a partnership with them, and now their relationship is kind of getting better, and we're actually getting Final Fantasy 14 over on Xbox. They could be going after Sega, but Sega is already releasing so many games into Game Pass, and the relationship with Sega is really, really prime right now, that why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? So there's no reason to really buy Sega at the moment. I know a lot of people really want Sega to be under Xbox because they go way back, and I would love that too. But if I had to choose a Japanese company to get swallowed up by Xbox, it would definitely be Capcom. I think Capcom answers all the things that Xbox is still missing. You're still missing some good Japanese content. You're missing some kid-friendly games, and you're missing some fighters. And right now, Capcom is firing on all cylinders. You have things like Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, you have Mega Man, you have Street Fighter, and so much more that you could potentially tap into. And I think that the relationship would be, I think the relationship between Capcom and Xbox is already great, but I really would like to see them underneath the Xbox umbrella. And as for other 1 or 2 studios, I think that if you go and they get someone like IO Interactive, Crystal Dynamics, or Eidos Montreal from Embracer, because Embracer is really struggling right now to open up their doors and to keep them open. And so I think that if they're able to get Crystal and Eidos and all the IP that went along with them, I think that'd be a really good get for Xbox, and see them have Tomb Raider underneath their belt, or Deus Ex, or even Soul Reaver. I'd love to see a Soul Reaver come back. So I think that would fit really well with Xbox. And then you have the other onesie twosie studios that they work really well with. Remedy, they've worked really well with Remedy in the past. You saw Alan Wake 2 is now getting glowing reviews. The first one got amazing reviews as well. And they're a great studio. That's pretty much the people that I would like to see underneath Xbox. Asobo. Asobo would also be a great studio to be underneath the Xbox banner. They did Flight Sim. They have done other Game Pass releases with the Plague Tale series. They're just a top-notch studio. They're really great. And I think that the relationship with Xbox is at a pretty good place. And I think that they should kind of get married and elope type thing, which I hope will happen someday. But right now, ABK is the thing that we need to focus on. But it's still fun to talk about other things like that. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think ABK is going to be a smooth sailing transition? Do you think that they made a mistake by buying ABK? And what other companies do you think Microsoft should be acquiring? Let me know in the comment section below. I appreciate you for stopping by. I'm sorry it's been so long for an upload, but I appreciate the patience. You know, you could always hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll have my Twitter handle down in the description below for you to check out if you're interested in seeing when I upload. But tell me what you guys been playing. I've been playing Alan Wake. I've finished Alan Wake 1. I'm now playing Alan Wake American Nightmare, the little spin-off sequel type game. And then I'm gonna hop into Quantum Break and then Control, so that way I could go and get into Alan Wake 2. I'm thinking about building a PC. I'm strongly thinking about it. So if you have any recommendations, like I want a really beefy system. So if you have any recommendations, drop them, or maybe if you have some videos that you could show me, I'll 100% really appreciate that. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. And remember, take it easy.